Everything I see for yesterday match, we say we try. Even though as we know who the match, we try our best. Now God will get the luck. So as we get the luck, the second position we'll get to now, still better thing we'll get. We try for Nigeria. Our boys try. I'm happy if we will not be last, we will not be third, we'll be second. I like them. What of the people we know can't win anything? Because we don't reach our.
At least we reach a final. I know they easy now.
I did not expect that from them. They've not tried.
But you should say Nigeria win, no. Nigeria no win, no. That one say Nigeria never did better.
Yeah, well, it's almost impossible to satisfy people. It is impossible to satisfy Nigerians. I was not feeling good thanks to that loss. I guess it's too much expectation. That's exactly what it was. And you know what they say, if you don't expect, you cannot get disappointed. Well, the aftermath of that is that the president has awarded the Super Eagles team the Member of the Order of the Niger MON National Honor for their impressive display at the just concluded AFCONs. The players were also given one flat each on a plot of land in the FCT. The Super Eagles were received at the State House on Tuesday, where they were conferred with the titles. And River State Governor Similayo Fubara has conferred the Super Eagles goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali with one of the highest honors in the state, the Distinguished Service Star of River State, that's DSSRS. And there's a whole lot more connected to that. I know that he will also be honored, and I hear he's coming back to the state if I'm not mistaken. So houses have been given, honors awarded. I've seen publications in certain newspapers of offers from clubs for some team members. So this is a good time for the Super Eagles. I'm hoping that we win the next one. Unfortunately, there is a sad twist to this. In the aftermath of Nigeria's defeat, Alex Iwobi archived all of his posts on Instagram, leaving his page blank. The action was in response to a barrage of hate speech on his social media accounts, as disappointed Nigeria supporters sought an outlet for outrage following the loss to host Ivory Coast. He was similarly targeted online following his sending off in the defeat to Tunisia that caused Nigeria's round of 16 exit in the 2021 edition of the tournament. And that time, just like now, he was forced to archive his social media post. However, there are reports that he may retire from international football. So cyberbullying of Alex Iwobi followed this AFCON outing. And it was truly sad. A lot of people had opinions. I think that there is need for education as to criticism versus bullying. Now, I remember tweeting a couple of times, "Coach, please remove Iwobi," because it was difficult to watch. But some people went too far. Some went to his page, called him names, and we need to do better as Nigerians. We honestly need to do better. So hopefully my guest joins me shortly and we dive deeper into this on a sad note as well. And this one is, oh my goodness, the tears are still flowing. Reports suggest that the chopper crash that killed the group chief executive officer of Access Holding PLC, Herbert Wigwe, his wife, son, and 3 others was weather related. They were heading to Border City, Nevada from California in the United States on Friday night for Las Vegas ahead of the Super Bowl. Speaking during a media briefing, a National Transportation Safety Board member, Michael Graham, said officials were on the scene to gather perishable evidence. He said it could take 12 to 24 months for the full report of the investigation to be ready. Let's hear from him.
Witness reports of the weather conditions at the time of the accident suggest rain and a wintry mix. The helicopter was not equipped with a cockpit voice recorder or a flight data recorder. This helicopter was not required to be equipped with those type of recording devices. We are aware of media reports of some downed power lines near the accident site. We will be looking into this report during our on-scene investigative phase of this investigation.
Well, he also said names will be released through the coroner's office.
We don't have any specific information on that right now. We are getting air traffic control data, ADS-B data. We're just starting to receive that. Hopefully we'll have more information tomorrow for you on that specifically. Questions about any more information on passenger and crews? No, I have no information at this time on that. Any names, things like that will be released through the coroner's office, and if we have any updates on that, we'll let you know, but normally that goes through the coroner's office.
Yeah, well, we have the names. Prominent Nigerians, including President Bola Tinubu and Rivers State Governor Similai Fubara, have expressed their condolences. Governor Fubara says he feels distraught by the death because Wigwe has been instrumental in Rivers State's economic plans and developmental strides. Governor Fubara said this while commiserating with the Wigwe family.
His economic advice is something that I was leveraging on to unleash a lot of programs in this state. So you can imagine how I feel about the death of Mr. Herbert. He's a great guy. I might be wrong to put it this way. I just see him as extraordinary. He's just one in a million. We will encourage the family, the daughter, and the other ones that are still there, whatever it is the state can do to keep up the legacy of Dr. Herbert.
He also said the death of Herbert Wigwe should not be the end of Wigwe University, one of the legacies he has left behind.
Maybe after his burial, we'll call the school management to find out what are their plans. Because I don't think that the death of Dr. Herbert should be the end of Wigwe University. We should do everything within our power as a state, or anybody who loves Herbert, to keep that legacy of Herbert Wigwe University. That is what I feel we should do to immortalize his name.
Well, Herbert Wigwe, who was age 57, was behind Wigwe University, which he was building in his hometown Isiokpo in the Ikwerre local government area of Rivers State. He had told his people during his last visit to Isiokpo about his vision for the school.
I want to thank all of you, starting with our chairman, Ikechi, for what you people are doing here in Isoko. For everybody waiting here, this now a project. We're going to protect them with anything we want to get. No university will go there like this. No be for Nigeria, for Africa. On my children, nothing will compare to this university. All of our children, yes. Now this school they will go.
The university was expected to kick off in September 2024. Well, I have my guest here with me. He is a public affairs analyst and educational consultant, Ikechi Wogu. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, the Big Sam. How you doing?
I'm well. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right. We've taken 2 stories so far, and we're actually trying to hurry. The Super Eagles losing the AFCON that happened at the beginning of this week, and the passing of Herbert Wigwe.
Yeah, I wasn't that funny enough. The final match was the only match I watched live. I just, you know how it is. So there's a trick I play. I don't know, for like 10 years, I feel if I watch the match, we would lose. So I make the sacrifice. I don't watch the match. I follow the trail.
Okay.
And then, so we had 1-1-1-1-1. And it was the final match. And I was like, okay, we're carrying the cup. We beat Ivory Coast before, so we can beat them again. Let me watch this match. And lo and behold.
It happened again.
It happened again. You know, it's been such disappointment through the years. So you really don't expect too much from the Super Eagles. But Pissarro has got a game plan. Defense.
Yeah.
Score 1 goal, lock up.
Yes, sir.
And so I think that day they lost their game plan. They didn't defend. They just wanted to go out for goals. And Ivory Coast took advantage of the gaps. If you look at their goals, their 2 goals were beautiful. They were slippery goals. It was hard for our goalkeeper to have caught the balls, right? Yeah, they just took advantage of. If you look at the first goal, right, you'll just realize it. And then the second goal as well. You know, nobody saw that coming. And yeah, congratulations to them.
Yeah, there were comments on social media as to whether or not they deserved it. And the answer is a big yes. Ivory Coast, the Ivorians were the hungrier team.
Yeah.
Yes, because
they had bite.
Yes, we led 1-0. Of course, we did in regular fashion, trying to defend and all of that. But, you know, there was too much to prove. I started to feel we might not win the trophy when I remember the journey of Ivory Coast at this AFCON. The fact that they were literally eliminated at the group phase and given a second chance, which they have not played with since.
Yeah.
I had a feeling that, and being in front of your home fans, I was hoping we would win, but there was a part of me that said the way these people move, I don't think they will come this far.
I didn't want us to play Ivory Coast the second time. I just wanted us to go with that memory of victory against them. I didn't want us to play them a second time because I knew that, number one, their new coach was desperate.
Yeah.
Okay, he had to prove a point.
A lot.
And from what I was seeing, faith was on their side. Because faith comes into play a lot.
Yes, indeed.
And the home crowd, did you see the crowd? There was a tricky side on social media saying that they refused to sell.
We have to take a break now.
Okay.
We'll be back.
For more talk, news and sports, stay
minutes, and we are running, flying. You're welcome once again.
Thank you.
The person of Herbert Wigwe, there really isn't enough. That we would not have enough time to talk about this. But your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it affects me personally. I was down all through the weekend. I just switched off my phone. I wouldn't take calls. I wouldn't talk to many people, and everyone was asking why. Funny enough, I was born in Ishobo. Yeah, then my mom was doing her teaching practice and my dad was teaching there and all that. So I was their baby. A lot of, people from that area would come say, oh, we nursed you. You were a baby. I carried you. Oh, I carried you for 3 months. I was helping your mom out. That kind of thing. And so that's how we got to know about the Wigwe family. So it's a large family. And apparently they are very successful. Great family and very, very God-fearing. I've not seen any bad person from the Wigwe family, apparently. And, when you have brothers all serving, God and driving towards a positive cause, then you follow the trail of their children, who they have become.
Yeah.
Success giants and all that. I remember the last time I saw Herbert's father. Apparently, he's a twin to his father. They look exactly, old man, very, very graceful, very nice, very accommodating and all that, So it was even from his father I fell in love with Herbert. I became interested. I was proud that a Rivers man was flying that high.
Yeah.
Forget the fact that he was based in Lagos. It wasn't really about the Lagos thing. It was the Rivers blood. And then, yes, Lagos inspiration, ambition, drive. There's something the Lagos environment does to your mind.
Definitely.
When you see, my father would always say to me, when your mates are doing something, join them. Yeah, that is the time your mates are going to school. That is the time you should be going to school. Don't wait until they've come back. They are going to the farm. That is the time you should be going to the farm. So Herbert was a high flyer. I wish Herbert had invested 10 more years of his space on earth. I mean, in the next 10 years, in the next 12 years, when he'll be clocking 70, then you would imagine what the likes of Wigwe University and all that. So imagine his ambition. I want the best university in Africa. So we're talking about university in Pretoria, in South Africa, in Namibia, in Morocco, in Egypt, and the rest of them. So it was world class. It was world class, and the man just got cut short in his prime. Thank God he has laid a formidable vision in Access Holdings, and it's a global brand. My sympathy goes to his children, especially his first daughter and the other ones. She's now a mommy too early. And it's a very sad note, but I'm sure God will see them through.
Yes, indeed. Others who condoled former governor of Rivers State, Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike, Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun, presidents of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, along other associates who paid condolence visits to the parents of the late CEO. Now, at the community level, just like Ikechi was stating earlier, shops were closed on Monday morning in Omuike community, Isiobo, in a local government area of River State, where the late group CEO hails from. This is as residents took to the street to mourn his death and that of his wife and son. Isiobo residents wore black clothing and marched through the streets singing mourning songs. Well, as I say, life and business moves on. Access Holdings PLC announced the appointment of Bolaji Agbede as the acting group CEO following the death of Herbert. There are many more stories to take, but I think this will be a wonderful time for you to be a part of the conversation. We've talked about the Super Eagles settling for silver in Ivory Coast and the passing of Herbert Wigwe. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 080-903-06416. Please turn off your radio as you call. It's important. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay. Call back if you can. I think I have a message here on WhatsApp. Someone has some interesting things to say about the Super Eagles. Someone says Nigeria suffers from main character syndrome. That's how Tyler won the Grammys and Nigeria started their conspiracy theories. We failed to win AFCON. Some people are starting their nonsense. I was in a bus going to school and the guy next to me in a taxi started texting all his friends to go and report the referee's account on Twitter and TikTok. He was encouraging his friends to do the same. And that's why Gallo left the team. I tire for Nigerians. Yes, the cyberbullying culture. We really need to do something about it. Hello, good morning. Hello. Oh my. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
Imam from Rubukuta.
Go ahead, Ima.
Yes, I want to comment on the death of the CEO of Access Bank.
All right.
Of a truth, it's a big challenge. It's a painful situation, and it has affected us generally, Nigerians, Africa, and the whole world. But I am saying, let me be a stranger in this world. It has shown me that I should be very, very close to God. It has shown me that I do not know the day that I will leave this world, or the hour, or the month, or the week. It has shown me that I should be humble and be good to people and be more closer to the Almighty God, because I have one day to leave this place. It's a big lesson to me.
All right.
I'm sorry for the bad incident, and I ask the members of that family to endure. All of us are strangers in this world. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Remember, we are live on Facebook and Twitter. That means you can watch an interview with correspondent Emeka Otoka, emphasize radio's pivotal role in delivering news and information.
Of all the mediums we have right now, radio is probably closest to the common man. It's the easiest for the common man to access. So I believe that radio still has a huge role to play in terms of information dissemination, in terms of news dissemination. For a country like Nigeria, not many people would prioritize having data on their phone. You pay no extra cost to consume content from radio compared to the internet, compared to television, compared to papers.
And speaking of podcast is now competing with radio, Mr. Bolade explains that radio offers a diverse range of content, while podcasts are designed for a specific audience with a narrower focus.
The way radio is designed, radio gives you an eclectic mix of content. You find a little music, you find a little news, you find health, you find business, and so on and so forth on radio. They don't compete with one another. A lot of podcasts are actually focused on specific areas. They have niche areas they focus on. Most radio stations, most radio formats have a more generalist approach, which is why they can appeal to a vast majority of audience all at the same time. Whereas a podcast has a slightly narrow view.
Also, another journalist, Blessing Olomu, says radio broadcast remains the most reliable channel for news dissemination.
I think that a lot of people realize that social media still has the potential to disseminate falsehood, and they are careful about that, especially those of the older generations like the millennials and the generation X and the baby boomers. They are more skeptical about the social media than the generation Z. Easily consume content of social media without the worry about checks and balances. However, because of this human element, social media may not be able to take over traditional radio.
Well, World Radio Day is celebrated every February 13. Annually, of course, the theme for this year's celebration is Radio, a century of informing, entertaining, and educating. This theme reflects the remarkable achievement of radio as a means of communication. Well, radio is a lot of things for me. It's what's happening now. It's my source of livelihood. And it means too much. I feel like writing a love letter. So, Ikechi, World Radio Day.
I think the beauty of that is access to information. There's a lot radio teaches you. Social media is coming up strong, but like Tomi Bolade said, not everyone has access to it. You go to the extreme north, and they have these very small, I can't remember what they are called.
Don't play.
Yeah, it's always on their ears,
Yes,
247.
Yes,
Even at back in the day in the village, we go for Christmas and you have these men. Some of them just chilling outside at night, and their radios are always on, waiting for the next instruction. There's no power in the house, and you just jump in, maybe a critical match. Nigeria is playing Cote d'Ivoire, and everybody jumps into daddy's car and want to follow through with the details and all that. So if there's no power, you may not have your phones charged and everything charged. But the beauty here is the information.
Yeah.
Radio is a kind of school that teaches you how to speak. Back in the day, the news channels, you have the Mojima Conjolas, you have the Cyril Stowers and all of that. You just want to sit in front of the TV because you love the way they speak, the way they present the news item. So you're not just getting the information, you're also, learning a lot, and you're cleaning up your English, your grammar in every way that you can. In fact, in some cases, I remember once my English teacher in secondary school referred us to NTA. To the news channels to follow through. Okay, see how they do this, see how they do that, and all that. It was such an inspiration. So I'm grateful for radio. We all are.
Yes, indeed, we are. And something else that happened this week: Valentine's Day. Yes, indeed, it happened this week. Well, some residents of Port Harcourt said they will not celebrate Valentine's Day this year due to the prevailing economic hardship. In an interview with our correspondent, they expressed regret that they won't be able to hang out with their loved ones on the special day.
The salary is not increased. Everything on the other side is skyrocketing. I would just drop a message for those I love. Valentine.
We have one white sheet like that. Just decorate the table, give the table another color, and then cook something within my means.
I planned the executive Valentine. It's not obtainable because the money is not there. The economy is hard and angry at us. That notwithstanding, we'll still share love, even if it's recharge card. We'll still buy and send to the people we love, as little as messages and calls.
I really don't know how we're going to go about that yet, but I believe every minute and seconds with him is going to be fun and full of memory.
This year's Valentine is on a low key. The economy is biting too hard.
Okay, so Valentine in hibernation mode, Valentine on a budget. This interview was a day before Valentine. So are you going to celebrate? Now, on the day of Valentine, business owners in Port Harcourt say they experienced low sales and blamed it, of course, on the economic challenges in the country. A survey by our correspondent revealed that the items in demand were Valentine's exotic flower bouquets, which was sold at 3,900, cake parfait with prices ranging from 1.5 and 1.7, 8-inch cakes ranging from 10,000 and 12,000, gift boxes ranging from 1,950 to 10,000, and chocolates varying from 1,100 to 6,000. Valentine on a budget. So Ikechi, how was your Valentine's Day?
Well, I sneaked out of the house before my wife could notice. And funny enough, I don't do Valentine, right?
Oh,
yeah, for many reasons. Yeah, but in the first place, only 2 people wished me happy Valentine, and I was careful to dodge answering.
I don't understand. You don't like love? What? You don't love you?
Love is an everyday thing. I don't believe. Maybe it's the way we go about it. Unwanted pregnancies, young people just doing all sorts of stuff. Back in the day, Sam, there was once I was almost starved, and I was running into an eatery to come and see the crowd. It was Valentine's Day. I didn't even realize it was Valentine's Day. This was like 15 years ago. Right, somewhere around Romala Junction. I was looking for where to eat, and the crowds wouldn't let me. So that was when I began to enforce my enmity for not for love, but for this craze amongst young people to just want to hook up and want to get something done. A lot of heartbreaks and all sorts of stuff for the wrong reasons. Come on, we can love every day. And the origin of Valentine is even religious. Not worldly like we look at it, okay? Celebrating some martyred priests and all that. And if we want to look at that from the religious angle, then true Valentine is agape, right? No greater love had any man than this, than that a man laid down his life for a friend. So how many people would lay their lives for their vows?
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's look at it from this perspective, right?
Okay.
Commemoration.
Okay.
So there is what I want to believe, and this is how I explained it earlier. There's a celebration of your life every day. You cherish, but you have a birthday where family members will come around and say, "Oh, happy birthday." Now, this doesn't mean they loved you any less yesterday, or they will the next day. But that day is a milestone. It's a marker. It's also like World AIDS Day or International Day for whatever. There's AIDS all year round, but this one day we're bringing awareness. So think of it as a reminder to love. And while people have taken it to different, but it still is a reminder that, so let's celebrate different forms of love.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What's wrong if I give you a Valentine gift? There's
wrong?
Nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with
So I mustn't select only the
I even
lady.
think you should,
Yeah.
like now, actually.
So you're saying, okay, it's a day to remember love. And it's a day, it's a day to remember the world and extend love, Christians to Muslims, right? Southerners to Northerners. Come on, the only thing that binds us together in Nigeria is football. So why don't we get to a point where on that Lovers Day we find a reason to not hate the other side of the nation because we're one?
Ikechi, I think you underestimate.
It mustn't be about
It's
man
not only
and
football
woman,
that
flowers.
unites us. Have you seen where Christians are going to collect meat on Saturday from? It's Alpha, and this Saturday they kick out.
Look, it's good. Even in the north, if you're in Abuja, right? Remember when a certain president of Nigeria would, fast with the Muslims during there are things that should bind us. I think at this time in Nigeria, what we should be looking at in terms of Valentine is a day to remember that there is somebody who's different from you, and you should love him because we're a shared humanity. And that should be the message this year.
Right.
Not just about how many more children, how many more unwanted children you can have and all that.
I'll be taking your thoughts shortly. Was your Valentine on a budget? But before we get there, Ikechi has already taking us there, one step in. A lecturer at the University of Port Harcourt, Hilda Obi, said the season should not be all about romance and intimacy. Dr. Obi said this in an interview with our correspondent.
The economy is fighting very hard. Sometimes you just need to show love and care. A lot of pressure, a lot of things are happening to individuals, especially with the tight economy. So Valentine is not the day you, as a husband, come to say, okay, I want to be intimate with my wife because it's Valentine Day. When the stomach is empty, when things are not done. No, it's a day that you have to show love and care. Reaffirming your love actually goes a long way to relieving a lot of emotional stress.
In the words of whoever said it, Dr. Hilda Zukwanike, calm down. She also advised unmarried lovers against unprotected sexual relations.
For the boy and girl who has planned to be intimate with each other just because of Valentine's Day, it's a very wrong perception and it needs to be corrected. My unwanted pregnancy, you have sexual relations, there's a possibility you might get pregnant. So there's nothing like unwanted pregnancy.
Oh, there you have it. It's already the 17th of February, so I'm hoping nothing happened on that day. Now, guess what? I made this discovery this year. Do you know that International Condom Day is February 13th? I'm not even joking.
Okay, so you buy that ahead of 14th.
I don't even... I thought it was I saw it on social media. I was like, no, this cannot be. And I Googled it. By the WHO, February 13 is International Condom Day, and a survey shows, okay, well, we were reporting on the cost and all. So, what is WHO's plan to put International Condom Day a day before Valentine?
Have fun, but don't go unsafe.
Oh, my goodness. All right, we're moving to the creation of state police. The federal and state governments are considering. But we'd like to hear from you. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. We've talked about the Super Eagles losing final Valentine's Day. All of that happening this week. Hello, good morning. Oh my. I apologize for that. You can drop your comments on Facebook and Twitter, where we are live at Nigeria Info PH, and send messages to WhatsApp. That's 080-903-06-416. Eze Aliko says, good morning, Sam. Herbert's death is not just a big loss to Isiokpo people, but Rivers State at large will miss his vision and dreams. Okay. Tell your guest that he's an Isiokpo indigene by birth. I should tell him. I don't think he ever argued that. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Godfrey.
All right, go ahead.
Let me tell you, you scared me during that day.
You said? Oh, I apologize. We had. Oh my, I can't hear you. Apologies for that. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sam.
Good morning.
Good morning, also your guest there in the studio.
Good morning.
Yes, they can. But John, I'm calling from Ubumini.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, Ubumini is also mourning our Ikure brother. If I may ask, in the area of the Valentine, this man, Valentine, what was his life character? What did he introduce to the world that made this particular day to be abused and feed up of immoralities, deviating from what the man introduced to us, which is give and take.
Okay, you're not helping with that, but I get where you're going, and I feel a protest loading. What was life character? We have no idea. He was a martyr. I think it's marking the day of his death, and so in commemoration, celebration of that, we really should look at his sacrifice and take love more seriously. Yeah. But the fact that people have abused it, right? I don't think we would blame the guy or whatever the origin is. And I know that there are conflicting reports as to the origin of Valentine. I know that I have read 2 or 3 different, but
I've read 4.
It all ends with
my Catholic priest.
Yes, so it's quite tragic how in none of those stories he was spared. He eventually dies, and that day is seen as a day to really show love. But I mean, you cannot blame. I don't even think there was any way to have averted what Valentine has become, because a lot of times when you even just have conversations around love, people automatically interpret it as sex.
Yeah, and love is good. Love is required. I mean, imagine the pressure, the heat in Port Harcourt and all that, and then you're just suffering a lot of hate and loneliness. So sometimes you need love, but it shouldn't be misunderstood. Love from your family. Love engenders sharing and caring. Getting your food. This is also Lent. 14th February commemorated Lent, right? Ash Wednesday and all that. It could be a time to share some of what you have. Reach out to the needy. Whose school fees are you paying? It could be one person. Whose food? I mean, you have your food, you're not eating breakfast or lunch, you're skipping. Are you sharing with somebody who's crying for food, who doesn't have food to eat? That's also love.
All right.
Yeah.
We have another break coming. I can squeeze in a comment or two from Facebook. Oko Nnamdi says creation of state police is unacceptable. We're not there yet, but yet it's our final story. Adindu says he's watching from Chatham House. Okay, that's interesting. And Osinachi Obonna says great oracle. Thank God at Wigwe. Congratulations to Super Eagle for second position. The death of Herbert is a big loss to Ikore local government and the country at large. All right. And Bako simply says congratulations on your day. I don't know. Okay, that should maybe World Radio Day. Yeah. All right, after the break, we talk some more. Please stay with us. Call at 0813510064 or visit our website www.gwos.com/caregiver-pause.
That infomercial.
Government seriously consider thanks to security.
Yes, I think what has enhanced security now is gated neighborhoods. So before you get to this street to that street, you need a lot of occupants of neighborhoods, estates have enhanced their own security. So it makes it easy for the police now to act. So we have the exposed space from point A to point B, and there was the coverage beyond the checkpoints and stuff. Is the purpose of the checkpoint not defeated?
All right, we're officially out of time, but very quickly, because this is a question I'd like you to answer. Do you think that state governments might abuse it, with police now being under the control of the governor?
Well, it's both ways. They will abuse it, right? Because of their level of politics. You know how it is. It's temperamental. They will abuse it. We're not yet mature for that now. We're not like California, where you have the sheriff knowing everybody by name and all that. We'll get there, as we advance. But I think it's something worth the try.
Okay.
Yes, it's worth the try. Let's give it a start, and then we can criticize the abuse.
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, sir, for your time. That's it on today's episode of the Front Page News. Next stories making headlines. The news around the world comes up now. After that, stand out with Patrick Duma. Please stay with us.